Well, good evening, everybody. This is Paris Prokopis. Welcome to the Paris Prokopis Show. It's been a little while. I apologize for being off the air for a while, but family things were happening, and living in the wonderful world of Tosa, Wisconsin, we've had our own share of, let's just say, mostly peaceful protesting. A little bit of civil unrest to deal with and stuff like that, and got pretty close to home, and that was unnerving to say the least. But I have to hand out kudos to the Wauwatosa Police Department, our great Chief Barry Weber, and also kudos to the National Guard for keeping people at bay. You know, they weren't trying to prevent people from protesting, but when they got unruly, immediately came out to the tear gas and everything else and everything. So it's a lot more decisive action, I guess a little bit of a hat tip to the Mayor McBride as well. Because of that, he gets a very little of a hat tip, because I think Chief Weber would have done what he was doing, whether McBride approved or not. That's just the way it is. So they did a great job. But for the most part, we've had some issues, breaking glass, breaking the cars, breaking glass of homes. They're actually attacking homes now. Like I said, they were within a few blocks of my home as well. So it's a sad situation all in all. But it was a situation that led to a very difficult decision on my part. As many of you know, my father passed away about 2 weeks ago, and I was going to head down to the funeral, which was delayed, thank you to COVID-19, which was in and of itself a strange situation. Long story there. And I was debating whether or not to be able to go. Just life is changing, a lot of things going up. And then, yes, I'm back on Greek people time. Yes, of course. This is my aunt. I had an aunt who always said it's better to arrive late than to arrive ugly. So thank you guys. Hello, Paula. Hello, David. Hello, Tracy, Darlene. And Nachos is watching over on the world of YouTube as well. Welcome, Nacho. Yes, definitely back the blue, Paula. So Nachos, I'll be in touch with you soon. Now that life is starting to get a little bit, well, it's not quite normal yet, but just a lot going on and everything. Tried to get back to normal over the weekend, which was very difficult to do, but then there was stuff to do, and you know how that goes. But anyway, I had to make a very difficult decision when I was actually debating whether I was going to fly, and I didn't want to be in a mask for several hours, be in an airplane. He lived down in Tampa. So I decided I was going to drive. And Monday I was on the road, actually en route to Florida. I was just going to drive down there. It's a 24-hour drive. 24 hours, somewhere in there. And I've made it before, and would have been a nice road trip just to gather my thoughts and everything. And I got a phone call from a friend of mine. And this friend said, "Hey, just so you know, I have inside information that they're going to have a verdict, or the DA is going to talk about the Mensa case on Wednesday evening." I'm like, oh. And the funeral was Wednesday. So I made a difficult decision. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. Since McBride wasn't saying anything, I had no idea if the National Guard would have been deployed or anything like that. So I think it was important to worry about my family, and I just decided to come in, and I decided to stay home and stay in Wisconsin. So I turned around. I didn't stay. I was in Chicago all the way, and I turned around and started heading back. Hello, Sharon. Welcome to the show. What if you do both? So at any rate, so I'm here, and I stayed here, and I'm glad I did, because Wednesday night the proverbial shit did hit the fan a little bit. luckily we had, like I said, great policing. Once they started getting unruly, immediately the police started using tear gas and stuff like that, which leads me, that's something that's very important that people have to think about. When we do, oh my gosh, 5 stages of watching the Paris Procopa show. Oh, it won't be that late tonight. So, but I'm a little melancholy today. So just trying to figure things out here. I don't have a plan for this show. So I've listed a couple things I'm going to talk about, but we'll see how it goes. It is the improv Paris Procopa show. But then again, those of you who know me in the public speaking arena, I rarely stay on script anyway. So thank you, Eric. Thank you, Nachos. And Giorgio, how you doing? My nephew's online. I was actually on my way down. I would have seen you and your little girl as well. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it. So at any rate, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. Squirrel. Okay. Police using tear gas. In the city of Milwaukee, by the way, I'm not in my normal area of doing my show. So if you're hearing a little bit of an echo, I apologize. I apologize for the bad sound in advance. Although not really in advance, I've already been talking for about 8 minutes. But okay, so when we're talking about tear gas, police using tear gas and stuff like that, the city of Milwaukee actually banned their police department from using tear gas. That was one of the reasons Chief Morales decided to quit. And I think he's going to be suing the city of Milwaukee. And Tosa did have the ability to use tear gas, and he used it immediately and ultimately was effective. Usually the unruliness was over pretty much by 8, 10 o'clock. So it wasn't that bad because we had enough presence between National Guard and police. I think we have just under 100 police officers in the city of Wauwatosa. We also had Milwaukee County Sheriff. I do know someone in the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office. So they were out making sure that nobody got unruly on the freeways and everything else. The background fits the echo. Oh, yeah, it does sound like I'm in the middle of I've been detained. So, but when having the ability to use tear gas and stuff, it usually ends up, people get a little bit hurt. They get their eyes get hurt or whatever, and then they wash their eyes out with water, and they're all good. That's all good. And so it was great. But if you take away these less than lethal options for police officers, what do you think is going to happen? The next option is to, pull their firearm out. And that doesn't always end well, usually for the perpetrator. So I think tear gas is fine when it's necessary. And this was necessary. And that's the whole thing. I mean, why don't they walk up to Mayfair Mall and have their protest, go out there and hold signs, and they have a right to protest. I don't agree with the reason they're protesting. For the most part, do I think there needs to be, we need to progress with policing and stuff like that? There's always worth conversation. You can always improve on things, but you can't have a conversation when there's so much noise around, figuratively speaking, between all the threats and all the unruliness, the breaking windows, businesses. There's a alderman. She's actually an alderwoman, but I call her alderman because I know it pisses her off. She is a piece of work. Her name is Heather Cool, whatever. I think it's Cool. I've never heard her actually like pronounce her name, so I have no idea how it's pronounced. But she is a piece of work. She's also a coward. She's the one that she runs around. She runs around and pontificates about we need to take care of. She's big on the Black Lives Matter movement. She's the one that hands these signs out. Hate has no home here. And I want to show you guys something. I'm going to see if I can get this up quickly. No comments out, Delgado. I'm going to see if I can get this working. There I am. Is that it? Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm going to show you this image. Here it is. Okay, and unfortunately, it's going to be very difficult to see. So she uses, and I'm still over here, right behind. She uses the handle Vanilla Vixen. So she hides. This is on Twitter. Every conservative shit stain that is using our fucking dumb talking point can shove it up their ass sideways. This is personal for us. We love our family. We love family-owned businesses, but we also love Black people and understand that windows are easier to repair than bodies. What a load of crap. Well, first of all, hate has no home there. There's plenty of hate in that message, but she's known for this. It's pathetic, and she is a, how would you say it? She is a woke white liberal who thinks she can help by making it worse for everybody else, stoking the flames of racism. She makes it sound Tosa needs to atone for the sins of their past. It's like, what's happened in the past has happened in the past. At some point, we've got to move on from it. She's acting like we're still living in the Jim Crow South. I've lived in Wauwatosa from the end of 1982 until 1993 when I had gotten married. And then we ended up moving back here in 2000, and now I'm divorced, but been here ever since. So a hell of a lot longer. And this is right, Sharon. And there we go. A woke, guilty, white, virtue signaling female, or liberal female on top of it. She's a bored housewife, I guess. Vanilla Vixen. It's a snow bunny. Well, Vanilla Vixen is her, I guess she had a cupcake business or something like that, a bakery or something, and that was her name. That's how we were able to figure out. We put two and two together. Her husband shared the post with his personal account, same last name, and she has record on Facebook or on the interwebs, as it were, that she actually had a business called Vanilla Vixen. I don't know if she still has it, but yeah, she actually created a fake account to spew racist tough, and she's a coward. If you believe in something, come out and say it as your own profile. I don't have to agree with you, but I can also challenge you. And that's half the problem with all of this, is that she thinks she's better than everybody. And I've personally seen her messages to some leaders in other groups who are part of the protesters and stuff like that. She's stoking, keep doing it, put up the pressure, almost encouraging them to start wrecking stuff. Like I said, protesting is not my problem. I don't have an issue with protesting. I intend to do it in a couple weekends here. I did it. I organized a protest, but we never broke anything. The only violence came from a liberal who hated that we're out there standing, and they threw a bottle of salsa at us or something, at some of the people. So anyway, so Wauwatosa seems to be kind of normalizing now. That we no longer have the curfews going on, so things are calming down. And at some point, I am gonna get down to Florida to spend some time with family out there and stuff like that. It's like people have to make decisions based on the fact that you're not confident in your leadership. I know friends who got a hotel room as well the first night because they weren't sure how bad it was going to get. So it's just, I don't know how you want to say it, but it's just crazy. So anyway, I want to take a segue into another topic here, and I want to get off of this because I'm hoping Wauwatosa gets woken up, because we also have a state assembly race here. Robin Vining has much of Wauwatosa here, and she is another woke liberal. There's a great meme going around that talks about the fact that she refuses to condemn the violence or support the police. She extended her sympathies to the family of the young man who was shot and killed, which, yeah, I extend my sympathies to them as well. It's tragic, no matter what side of this you're on. Somebody lost their young son. But I think taking it out on the police is misdirected. There are a whole lot of other issues. Like, what was he doing in a shopping mall with a fully loaded weapon? Somebody else could have gotten hurt as well. I mean, there was a whole lot that went on with that. So it wouldn't have been a situation had he not shown up at Mayfair Mall with a weapon. You know, I'm bothered that someone so young is, you know, that's a young life lost. Regardless. But we're responsible for our choices. There's this great meme that had three men standing together in what looked to be a courtroom. One man in an orange jumpsuit, the other man in a sheriff's uniform, so it must have been the bailiff or whatever, and the other man in a suit and tie. And it basically talked about how we're responsible for our own choices. So, but speaking of 17-year-olds, yes, there's someone in the news again. Let me share my screen, and it's amazing. Greta Thunberg is back in the news, and she's urging Americans to vote for Biden. Greta, how dare you? How dare you think that we give a crap about anything you say? Because we know you're just spouting the crap of your liberal parents who sit and indoctrinate you. She says, I never engage in party politics, but the stakes are too high. How dare you? She continued. Yeah, there's a site. But the upcoming excuse me. But the upcoming U.S. elections is above and beyond all that. From climate perspective, it's very far from enough. And many of you, of course, supported other candidates. But I mean, damn, just get organized and get everyone to vote. Well, you betcha, Greta, I'm getting everyone to vote. And I'm getting them to vote for someone other than you. So anyway, that's the infinite wisdom of our very own Greta Thunberg. Well, she's not really our own, but she is. I'm going to share another screen here, because here's another thing. You know, the stuff that's been going around about the forest fires that they keep saying, oh, forest fires at historic highs in the United States. But this article says not even close. California's wildfires are a serious matter, but the official record of the United States shows forest fires in the U.S. today are far below the national average in the 1930s and the 1940s. So California wildfires have been in the news in recent weeks. Okay, blah, blah, blah. The figures from the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection show that there have been nearly 8,000 wildfires that have burned more than 3.4 million acres in California. Since August 15th, when the state's fire activity elevated sharply, there have been 25 fatalities and 5,400 structures destroyed. So it's basically, it's clear cutting. That's the biggest issue here. Clear cutting is we aren't doing it in California. It's weird how there's a map of California and or a map of the United States that shows California is under fire, and then the rest of the country is non-climate change affected. There's forests all around the country. Here it is. Here's this U.S. forest burned since 1926, and here's the whole thing. So basically, we've been putting the fires out, and that's part of it. You're supposed to clear cut. You're supposed to get rid of the old dead wood and stuff like that, and then you're supposed to go into. Then you let some fires burn. You do controlled burns periodically, because burning is actually a good thing. What do you think makes pine cones release their seeds? Heat. And fires are like the country's. My sound is very low. Okay, let me see. I just got a message. Hey, how's that, Ed? I turned up my sound a little bit. Do I sound a little bit better? Let me know. Let me know. But so it's more ado about nothing. Basically, they're trying to blame climate change because Trump got out of the Paris Accord 4 years ago, 3 years ago, or whatever. That's why we have forest fires. I don't get it. It's absolutely ridiculous. Sorry about that. So I sound much better. Okay. You can't hear me. I am so sorry, Darlene Wink. Went down again. Hello, hello, hello. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. You're very quiet. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Well, I'm not sure what the issue is. Okay. Let's see, because I've got full things. I'm going to switch mics for a second. Oh. What the heck? There we go. How's that affecting my sound? Should my sound be much better? Yeah, I'm hoping that might be much better. How's that? I hate technology, but when it doesn't work, am I good now? Somebody tell me, please. Okay. Do I sound okay now? Bingo. Okay, there we go. I know what the problem is. Somehow I switched microphones and I don't, so I was going to my microphone on the opposite end. So do you like my big my dreamy radio voice now? Welcome to Romantic Hits 99.7. This is Paris Procopus. I'm sorry. Okay. Hey, it's my first show back in a while. I just have to, you guys deal with it. So at any rate, we also have, let's see, today in the Federalist, there was an article, and I'm going to share this. It talks about, because Tony Evers just extended the mask mandate, which I still think is a crock. And of course, suddenly out of the middle of nowhere, after we've had this disease in our country since February, suddenly we have the first official case of somebody being reinfected with COVID-19. We're just in time for the election. Who would have thought it? Yeah, it's absolutely crazy what they're doing. So CDC study finds that overwhelming majority of people getting coronavirus actually wore masks. They don't do a damn thing to prevent COVID-19. Really, in the end, you got to, first of all, keep your immune system up by taking lots of vitamins and, eating right, taking care of your body, all that stuff. But if you do get it, you also, that'll help you fight it all off. And wash your hands, for crying out loud. Stuff like that. Simple things can help you. That's what any sort of plague that's going around at any given time, for the most part. It's not like this is Ebola or something. So, yep, and it's flu season. And I wonder how many more COVID-19 cases are actually flu. In the 14 days before illness onset, 71% of case patients and 74% of control participants reported always using cloth face coverings or other mask types when in public. In addition, over 14% of the case patients said they often wore a face covering and were still infected with the virus. Who'd have thunk it? So it's a sizable number. And just as we figure. So earlier tonight, I have to tell you, President Trump getting COVID-19, and then he kicked its ass. I love it. He could say that. But he was at a rally today in Florida, and so was Joe Biden. And it's interesting seeing video of the Joe Biden car parade, and then you have the Donald Trump car parades night and day. It's very entertaining to see the difference between, let me show you here. That's a Joe Biden rally. There's Joe Biden addressing an amazing crowd of so many people just oogling over him and wanting to be near him. And it's just terrible. This is today in Miami. Seriously, today in Miami. And this is today also in Florida. I don't remember I don't remember where he was. Boom. There he is. Thousands of people. And get this. Mike Pence was in Florida. Mike Pence was in Florida, and he... Someone just sent me a picture of Greta saying Greta didn't like that. But Mike Pence was in Florida, and he had over 4,000 people at his rally. Mike Pence, the vice presidential candidate. He's number 2. VPs never get that much. Maybe there was one in history. Early on, a lot of people really liked Sarah Palin. It's sad because I think she would have been brilliant, but unfortunately, she kind of became the caricature that they were painting her to be. So I haven't checked my comments in a while. Yeah, bourbon and whiskeys help fight COVID. Absolutely. Common cold triggers, positive results. All right. I don't want to. You're touching your face? I touch my face. Yeah, I was watching the rally in Florida, and I was watching it on Right Side Broadcasting. I just, sitting at home watching it. And it was amazing, the energy there and stuff like that. So I'm excited. I think I like President Trump's chances. I think it looks good. Well, at least Florida does. Yes, I know Hilario. I didn't know what city he was in. Yeah, Mike Pence. Obviously, I was dealing with other things. Finally got to watch the debate, and Kamala. I'm telling you, I have some people that are inside the upper echelons of the Democratic Party. I won't say who they are. I have friends all over the place. And they're not happy with Biden either, but they're voting for Biden. But anyway, they did let me know that there are some very important people in the Democrat Party who are very upset, or they have buyer's remorse. They're not happy with Kamala Harris, especially after that debate performance. Of course, ABC, CNN, MSNBC all say she won. She did not. She came across as arrogant. She came across as condescending. Hello, I'm talking. Okay, I'm talking now. Okay, da, da, da. You know, and she had that. They literally had T-shirts with that on there. I'm talking now. Already had T-shirts made, so clearly that was planned, a planned line. But she came across as horribly angry, and it was just arrogant, like we're being lectured to. Oh, yes, I know. Yes. And now she's being condescending for the Senate hearing for Amy Coney Barrett. But Mike Pence was looking, I dare say it, he was looking mighty presidential. And this, I have to say, this is the first time I've felt that way about him. I'm not a Pence fan. I think he'd be a good president, but he wouldn't be someone I'd say would be my first choice. But I admire the fact that he says he has stayed loyal to President Trump. You know, I could see anybody, and I couldn't blame him. Anybody quitting after the first year of this onslaught of nonstop nonsense from the Democrats. But he stayed in it, and he was so passionate that night for a very stoic individual. He had so much passion in his voice, and it was actually exciting to see. And Kamala was acting disrespectful. Do you ever act respectful during a debate just to flex on Kamala Harris? Yeah. Well, actually, you know, he did it with finesse. And he said, hey, basically, it sounds like our plan. We're already doing it, when he was talking about the COVID plan. I mean, it was just brilliant. He did a very good job, a lot better than he did in debates, 4 years ago. And I was very, very, very happy with it. Quality guy. Yes, very much so. I think he's a good guy. I admire the fact that he's so dedicated to his religion and stuff like that. Not to the point where he's like, I don't have that. Because, but sometimes that kind of concerns me. I mean, there's some things, I don't know if he might be too conservative for the country. I don't know. Can he win a national election? That's the biggest thing. But nonetheless, there's a lot of other contenders that are coming around the bend as well. And there could be Kristi Noem, which is coming to Wisconsin this week. There could be Nikki Haley. That would be great. Yeah, I agree with you. And you sent me, I saw your note of concern, like, oh my God, this isn't going well. But actually, it took him a while to get in the groove. And I go back to President Trump's debate, and I'm like looking at it. My first knee-jerk reaction is like, shut up. But because we needed to let Biden just bury himself. But Trump was not going to let the lies stand. So he had to go out there, and he derailed Biden. Biden did not make any progress in the debate. Probably the first debate in history where the challenger doesn't make progress. I mean, even Mitt Romney, he had an amazing first debate against Barack Obama. Of course, Barack Obama blamed it on himself being tired. And then the second one, when he had Candy Crawley give him lifelines, that was crazy. So, but speaking of Obama, there's a whole lot coming out about Obama, slowly but surely, things that are being declassified that he knew about. The latest revelations show that Team Obama invented the whole Russiagate scandal. This was 2 days ago. So he knew about it. Too bad he's not in office right now, so we can kick his ass out. But oh well. And honestly, there's not going to be a lot that we're going to be able to do to Obama. But I'm wondering if Clapper is going to be the fall guy for all of this.
maybe rice. So, yeah, Tracy, Obama's not going to get arrested, and honestly, not good for the country, my friend. Not good for the country. At some point, I would even not have an issue with the presidential pardon. I can't stand Obama, but I think being publicly humiliated would be a fate worse than death for him. But Obama is going to get chastised, and history will judge him as a complete fraud as a president. So, and no, I'm not talking. Oop, hang on 1 second. Almost lost the entire show. My battery was going dead on my computer. I didn't realize I didn't have it plugged in. Sorry, guys. So I feel so large tonight. I got to back up. Like I said, I'm not in my normal situation. So yeah, here we are. Yeah, I still don't think it's right. I don't think we should do it. But hey, that's just me. I think we got to try to heal the nation because, quite frankly, dividing it further, it's dangerous. I think win or lose, there's going to be people talking about secession, civil war, things like that. I think that's dangerous. We're much more populated than we were before, and there's much more sophisticated weapons than we've had before. This could end up being a complete, I mean, it wouldn't be thousands of people dying. It would be millions. It's not worth it. And the fact is, if we're in the midst of that, you know how quickly China will react? Russia. There's all kinds of things. I think we need to just find a way to move past this. Maybe I'm just being too pragmatic. I want to try to find the save the nation, not divide it. So that's why I would never want. Now, on the flip side, Hillary Clinton, since she's never been a president, whole different deal. Jay Clapper, of course, Comey, and Peter Strzok or whatever, and whatever. So we've already got an indictment or a conviction. But I'm really pissed off that Barr is waiting till after the election, or the Durham. He's waiting to release his findings till after the election. It should have been before the election. People have the right to know what they're voting for, if they're voting for corruption or not. Now, great. The big thing is, and speaking of swamp, I'm going to go on a complete tangent here. There is a AR15 pistol that is being effectively, there AR-15 pistols. There's a difference between AR-15 and AR-15 pistols. AR-15 rifle, 16 inches or bigger, and if you have a shorter barrel of, let's say a 10 and a half inch barrel, a 12-inch barrel, or whatever, those are considered short barrel rifles, SBRs, and those have to be regulated under the National Firearms Act, where you have to send in and get permission, special permission. You have to get a tax stamp, a $200 tax, and all that stuff to have a short barreled rifle. Well, there's also an AR15 pistol, which is basically instead of a stock, it has a brace where you can hold it one-handed. And so it's classified as a pistol that can have a short barrel. And anyway, there was one short barrel, and the name of it is actually escaping me right now, but they're trying to ramp up going against these AR15 pistols, saying they have to be NFA regulated. And I found out that the people in the ATF who are doing this, there's 3 of them, are actually Barack Obama holdovers. So if you don't think that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and I might as well say President Harris, because we already know it's in the plans, because we know that, let's put it this way, Nancy Pelosi is talking about giving the Congress a way to invoke the 25th Amendment. So not even Nancy Pelosi wants Joe Biden. Think about that. Yet people are going to vote for him because they want Kamala. Kamala's an extremist. So anyway, so we've got the ATF overacting. Now we have a Republican president, but the thing is, he's gotten wind of this, and there's several congressmen that are writing today, putting pressure on the ATF. Hey, this is infringing on people's rights and blah, 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 and that type of thing. So, because they're basically telling this company, you can't sell this gun anymore, this firearm. I'll just call it that. But, and I can't for the life of me remember the name of the gun. It's not one that I own. It's not like the Scorpion, but it's still a 5.56 223 AR-15 rifle. So anyway, what else do I want to talk about today? Oh, let's talk about the polls. That's going to be probably the last topic for tonight. I'm going to keep it short tonight, just like me, short and sweet. So Democrats don't go to jail. They should. There should be a bunch of them to go. I think there should be people going to jail. I just don't think it's a good idea for us to get in the business of jailing a former president. I don't think it's a good idea, because no matter how you like him or not, it will divide the country further. And we're already dangerously on the brink. We need to come away from the brink. We need to figure out a plan for the future and that type of thing. So I think we'll get there. I'm optimistic because I like that. But I'm going to share my screen again because this is an interesting article. Share screen. Boop. This is written in the Blaze. The polls, talking about the polls, because all of a sudden all these polls are showing Biden like way ahead. There's even an outlier poll. The Rasmussen suddenly showed Biden 12 points ahead. But for whatever reason, when you get into the crosstabs of this particular poll, you see that they're weighting this as if only 72%, 73% of Republicans are voting for Donald Trump. He wasn't even that low in 2016, and he had a lot of Republicans who did not support him. So it doesn't make sense. And the only Republican in recent history to get that low was George H.W. Bush at the second when he ran for re-election. And that was mainly because Ross Perot siphoned off a lot of Republican votes. But anyway, so these polls don't make sense. Steve Deese brought the heat with a clear idea of what voters must buy into to believe the current public poll narrative. According to, Deese, voters have to believe that Democratic nominee Joe Biden is a stronger candidate than Barack Obama was in 2008. And Donald Trump is a weaker incumbent at this stage than George H.W. Bush in 1992. Do you believe that? Deese said rhetorically. The most accurate poll in 2016 predicting Joe Biden will outperform Franklin D. Roosevelt's final re-election campaign in 1944 for context, in 1944, FDR was in the middle of winning World War II and was arguably the most popular president since George Washington. Moving to 2018, had a bleep. Quinnipiac poll by 538. Oh, that's what that was. I didn't know what that meant. A B plus rated poll by 538 polled Florida Democrats Bill Nelson and Andrew Gilliam with a 7-point lead in midterm elections, but Gilliam lost to Trump supporter Ron DeSantis, a former congressman that year. So it is impossible to win a presidential election without winning the state of Florida. And the latest Quinnipiac poll has Biden outperforming the margin of victory, which was plus or minus 2.491 in the last 7 presidential elections by 400%. He's not outperforming by 400%. So anyway, I would check this out. It's on Blaze. So, there's a little clip he plays. I wonder if I could play this. Well, that's about 9 minutes. I'm going to have you guys go look. I'm going to put the link in the thread here. Here we go. Go check it out for yourselves. It's on Blaze. I'm not able to place it there. Well, I'm going to have to go here then. So, yeah, but anyway, basically the polls are being manipulated, and it's strange. They're waiting. They're putting too much confidence in Joe Biden, and not enough confidence in the support for Donald Trump. It's very, very strange, and I don't know. For the life of me, I can't figure it out. Oops. There we go. All right. So I just put up the article there. So at any rate, so this is, don't let the polls discourage you. It's like they're being manipulated in an effort to discourage us. And they're all, if you notice, you look at Wisconsin, for example, suddenly Biden is on the airwaves, all over the airwaves. Here, they desperately need Wisconsin. And for them to pile so much money in there, he's not leading by the 7% that Marquette had him. By the way, I think it was 8%. But in a lot of these polls, for a lot of these state polls, when you go state by state, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Minnesota, stuff like that, and Wisconsin included, and Florida, Joe Biden's doing less well. He's doing worse than Hillary Clinton did in 2016 when they were doing her polls at this point. They're pulling Antifa. Most conservatives are not answering polls, so they're not getting a fair assessment. And this is why they're throwing everything out but the kitchen sink, where they're trying to get mail-in voting. And you look at the ads that they're playing. Yeah, Barack Obama, it's an election year. We got to make sure we go out and vote. He's not saying we got to make sure and go out and vote for Joe Biden. They're desperately trying to get voters out because they know voters aren't enthusiastic. They were slightly enthusiastic for Hillary Clinton in 2016, slightly. Nowhere near the excitement about Barack Obama. Yeah, he was historical. I get that. Hillary was historical, but she was such a non-likable person. And Barack Obama hadn't been in the political game for very long. I mean, he was in the state Senate and in Illinois and stuff like that, but he was kind of a nobody. He advanced quickly. And then he was suddenly in the presidency because he had no track record, no history. Now we have a track record. So, but so they're afraid. I think the polling numbers are showing that President Trump is resonating in suburban Milwaukee as well now. So that's a huge thing. It should help out Republican candidates we have running for state assembly, because all this goes down ticket. So you guys, even if you don't like Trump, you don't want Kamala Harris appointing Supreme Court justices. And they're talking about packing the court. They're talking about it by not talking about it. They're going to do it. They won't rest until they have a court that'll do everything the Democrats want them to do. That's what they think of the court. It's supposed to be a non-political body, and they're politicizing it. There's no guarantee Amy Coney Barrett's going to vote against abortion, Roe v. Wade. Oh, vote against Obamacare. Obamacare is the big thing that we're talking today. Oh, but there's not even a case. There are no cases on the books right now for against Obamacare. Not a one. So in reality, it can be replaced with another law. So I hope this is true. And there's this case about this guy. I heard about it from someone else, but I forgot where I heard it. But apparently they vandalized his Trump sign, spray painted it and stuff like that. So he got another Trump sign, put it in the yard. Vandalize that. Got another one, put it in his yard. Vandalize that. Before you know it, he's actually got 9 Trump signs in his yard. He didn't remove the sign and just replace it or just remove it altogether. He just kept adding signs to his yard every time they did it. That's huge. So I think a lot of people are taking stands. So now this is what I'm going to say. Those of you who are listening in Wisconsin, which I think I've got mostly Wisconsin listeners tonight, except for a couple in Florida and elsewhere. We've got a big event, or 4 big events happening in West Allis, Wisconsin, around Highway 100 and National. Mark your calendars for the 24th of, in fact, let me just pull it up here. An organization called Keep America Great Wisconsin. I told you guys to like it. A lot of people to like it last night. And here's an event that is up, and oops, I'm going to try sharing my screen here. Here we go. Let me get Ed Delgado off of there. Okay. So West Allis, Wisconsin, there's a Trump rally. There's going to be 4 Trump rallies in over 4 days. Okay. So this will be Highway 100 National, just a street rally, both sides of the road, up and down the road. We want to fill it with Trump signs and back the blue signs and any other conservative sign you want. And there better not be any morons with a Confederate flag. I'll be very upset about that because we won't allow that. I should put that on the invite. But anyway, it's October 24th and 25th, October 31st, and November 1st. So Saturday, Sunday, the last 2 weekends of October, 1 to 4 p.m. There is conventional wisdom that says if we win the south side of Milwaukee County, we win the state. Something Walker failed to do. Something Kelly's team failed to do. Something Hagedorn's team was able to do. So if we win the south side, so we basically, and I know like the Wisconsin Conservative Digest is focusing on the south side, like a 25-mile radius of Hales Corners. Big deal. Obviously, Kenosha and stuff like that. But share this with all your friends and stuff like that. I'll share the event in the thread as well. So remember that. Okay. So we want to make these as huge as possible, get some voter enthusiasm, excitement. This is akin to, we used to do the bypasses where we'd have signs over overpasses and stuff like that. The bridge brigades, that's what it was. There you go, Christine. And the issue that I think one year that we were doing that, somebody actually got in an accident. It was kind of, so we have to be careful with that, but definitely if you're going to do it. Just, it's always fun. But I think if we get some big rallies going on, that would be really nice. Get some parades going and in their trucks and stuff like that. Because of course they think everybody with a pickup truck is a Proud Boy. There was in West Allis, they had somebody saw a pickup truck with a Trump flag on it, so they called the police on them. It's getting that ridiculous, folks. That ridiculous. So anyway, pay attention to this. I'll put a link. I'll put the link in the thread here. And there we go. There's a link for the Facebook event. Check it out. Hopefully you'll see it in there. And I think I'm actually going to check out for the night. I want to let you know. Well, anyway, Ed, you got to organize something up there. Get something going out in the sticks. So, Carolina, I'm about ready to check out and you finally join us. Well, hi, Carolina. So, got to have you on the show again, too. And I got to get Ed. I got to have... Joke, how many pickup owners of Trump facts? That's a great joke. So anyway, 1 to 4 p.m. Saturday the 24th, Sunday the 25th, Saturday the 31st, Sunday November 1st. So fill those streets with Trump flags. The sidewalks, not the streets, sidewalks. We're going to do it legally. All right. Anyway, so thank you guys for being patient with me this last couple of weeks that I've been off the grid and dealing with family issues and stuff like that. But remember, stay out of trouble. If not, have fun. I just want to leave you with this. I love this meme. Trump colluded with Russia. Nope, that was me. Trump kept kids in cages. That was me. Trump obstructed an active investigation. That was us. Trump had a quid pro quo in the Ukraine. That was me. So it's fun. And this is another meme. No. I want to make them scream again. That would be such karma. And this is my triggering post of the day. I always have to show this on my shows, because it'd be nice to have President Trump on Mount Rushmore just for the heck of it, just to tick them off. And of course, I am surprised that she is still alive and kicking. I'm pretty impressed. She must have a kill switch or something like that. So if she dies, all information is let loose. So anyway, it's fascinating stuff, people. So at any rate, thank you guys for joining me. Ed, Christine, Carolina. I think David King was here for a short time. Dawn, we have some unfinished business. Anyway. Paula, quality guy. Oh, that's right. This is what Paula thinks of me. She thinks I'm a quality guy. What can I say? And Hilario. Dave Miller was here. So lots of people's. Oh, thank you for all the comments, people. This is exciting. Sharon. Norris. Well, thank you guys for your patience with my technical difficulties and everything. And I'll be back on my routine starting soon. So remember, we've got a lot of work to do, and keep up the fight. Don't let the polls discourage you, because they're almost identical to what they were in 2016. Just remember that. All right, guys, have an awesome night, and we'll be seeing you soon. Bye.